Welcome to this conversation with Dr. Maat and myself, Dr. Akhu. Today we're going to talk about spirit, mysticism, and motherhood. Greetings.
Greetings. Glad to join you for another Integrating Spirit chat.
Yes, so let's get started. How do you define spirit?
So for me, spirit is defined as the unseen sacred essence of who we are, and it integrates with our soul, mind, physical body, and all of creation.
Good. Okay. I define spirit as that part of us that is connected to the divine. So it's the part that tethers us to everything, everyone, all energy. And it's the guiding force. It's that little voice that whispers to you, that tells you to do things or to not do things, what some people might call intuition. I think that's what I consider our spirit.
Yeah, I think intuitional wisdom is sort of the practical resource or tool that's available in terms of connecting to spirit and following spirit. And in the ancient, African and Kemetic tradition, intuitional wisdom is one of the more prominent forces that we have available to us as a part of our personality and how we manifest in the world that keeps us connected to spirit.
And it's available to us because our spirit is the part that is connected to what can be seen by, it can see everything. The divine forces that are aware of all of the things that are happening in the universe, as opposed to just us, which are down here on Earth and have very limited view.
Yeah, although I don't necessarily think of the forces as persona, but certainly in different traditions and in the ancient African and Kemetic tradition, the forces are associated with gods and goddesses, but I think of them as the energies
I do
that
too.
connect us. Yeah.
I do too. When I say forces, that's more of what I mean is the energy of all things.
Right, all pervasive. That oneness, that connected spirit.
Yeah. So, now, how do you define being a mystic?
So, for me, a mystic is a direct result of living in alignment with spirit. So, being a mystic is someone who, through using contemplation and just surrendering self, seeks oneness with the divine or oneness with the absolute, oneness with everything. So a mystic is someone who seeks oneness with everything.
I would agree that this is a driving force for a mystic, for me as a mystic, is to make sure that a major part of my life is related to seeking oneness and understanding that connection.
Yeah, and it's a centering, and particularly for African-centered psychologists, it's a centering of oneself around spirit. And so that spirit is sort of center, and then everything falls from that, or everything emanates from that concept. Yeah, from spirit. A mystic, another way I think of thinking of a mystic is, someone, again, from the ancient African and Kemetic tradition, who seeks Nahast, which is the great awakening, which is to be aware, to be woke, to be enlightened, for the spirit to be illuminated. So, there are many different ways, I guess, you can describe it, but that sense of oneness, illumination, enlightenment, being in the world with that state of consciousness, and ever seeking to be in that state is really central to being a mystic. And I would also say that being a mystic is about using love, right? Like as a major tool in relationship to other people, or a major way of being in relationship to other people.
So yeah, I guess I just underline it's about seeking, seeking that connection, seeking to use love, seeking to stay centered and present in the connection to the divine, to all of that spiritual energy that we talked about before, and using that as the guiding force as, go on with our regular, day-to-day experiences, as opposed to getting caught up in more, worldly or emotional things, but really trying to focus on the spirit first, the connection first, and everything else coming after.
Yes.
So we're both mommies.
Yes.
What are the challenges of being a mystic and a mommy?
What are the challenges of being a mystic and a mommy? I think the challenges are staying centered in the mysticism, staying centered in being spirit, and remembering and practicing that in daily life, moment to moment. It is a moment to moment practice and process. And the seeking is not so much as destination that you are, arriving at, as much as it is a process that you are seeking to be in. Yes. So the challenge is being in that on a daily basis, right? Being in that state.
I like what you said, moment to moment, because I think a lot of the well-known mystics are people who don't have families, that are spend their time all day in some secluded place where it's all about the mysticism, it's all about meditation. They only have to focus maybe on some basic needs like food, where when you are a mommy and you have all these other very worldly ties, this other person to take care of, and that can be a pulling force to pull you in the other direction.
Yes.
And so that I think it takes a bit more effort to stay connected to love and to the all, and to keep the mysticism first, even as you are raising somebody, trying to teach them and lead them and deal with all of the other challenges that come with being a parent, in terms of dealing with education and the other systems that you have to deal with as a parent. I think it can be really challenging, but having this mystical stance, I feel also when you stay connected, gives you a lot of peace.
Yes. And allows you to expand the mysticism beyond yourself and to really live in action of that consciousness.
Right, which is really the next thing I wanted us to talk about, which is what are the strengths of being a mystic and a mommy?
Yes, what are the strengths of being a mystic and a mommy? Well, it affords a lot of opportunity to practice what you preach, so to speak. It really provides the opportunity to, on a daily, moment-to-moment basis, practice being one and being connected. Because you have a responsibility for another being, you're always engaged, in relational activity, which gives you an opportunity to continue to work. So if you can see life as while being a mystic, if you can see life from the mystic lens, then you always have an opportunity, so long as you have children or people around you, you always have an opportunity to keep working at it. And it's an exciting opportunity. It is a challenge, but it's an exciting opportunity.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Ultimately, in many of the mystic and spiritual traditions, they advocate, right, simplifying your life, reducing your obligations, not having children, so that you have more of yourself, your resources available to just focus on the divine. But when you're a mystic mommy or parent, the spirit is in everything, and it gives you an opportunity to really have to meet and greet the world moment to moment from this consciousness, from a mystical and spiritual consciousness. And I love that.
I would agree. I think the other exciting part about it is being able to share the mystic wisdom with your child from early on and watch them not have to go through some of the struggles you may have had to go through to come to this place, to have this understanding and this connection, to help them develop that from the beginning so that they have that strength and that ability to center and that experience of being connected from early on in their lives, and to watch that manifest and to watch them use it, and to be able to help and guide someone that is that close to you, in addition to, you and I help and guide a lot of people, but
Yes.
to help and guide somebody that is so close that you have daily interactions with is really exciting.
It is.
Well, thank you for discussing being a mystic and mommy, and I look forward to talking more about different aspects of our experience as mystic mommies with you.
Thank you. And I enjoy and appreciate that we have this opportunity together and to share with others. So, Atep, which means peace.
For more information about us and what we do, please visit drakhu.com, DRAKHU.com, and the Center for Spirit.com, Center, the number 4, Spirit.com.